salesmen than the people attending the meeting. Rather, here more organizers than the participants. I appreciate this arrogant sense of humor. Immediately she laughed. Good. That means she's alert and sharp. Okay. Anyway, we start at 6 o'clock. Usually, we keep up time, and generally we play 1 or 2 videos in the context of the speech of the day. First day we had quantum physics, mysteries in quantum physics. Second day we had, that is yesterday, mysteries in the world of medicines, medical world. And today, third day, is the mysteries in the world of oceans, ocean bed. And ocean is naturally connected with water. So we begin a short video documentary on water, the importance of water. Usually we take water for granted, which is not the case, but though we know the importance of water, we do not know why it is important. And we all know what is essential for life, but how is it essential? Why is it essential? And in the first place, how at all water came to the earth? That's still a mystery. Okay, about that we'll see later when we begin the session formally. Now, this is a short video clip documentary on water itself. Yeah, Karthi?
Facts about water.
So they begin how much water is there on the earth. They say 300 million trillion liters of water. And million trillion, how many zeros you know. So much of water is there, including the water in the jug here. Because later we'll see how water, whether it is in the form of ice or in the liquid form or vapor in the cloud, everything put together makes the water on the earth. Yeah. Go to the video. Yeah.
Facts about water. How much water is there on Earth? Water is plentiful on Earth. Scientists estimate there is about 326 million trillion gallons of water. Over 71% of the Earth's surface is water. 96.5% of the Earth's water is located in oceans and seas, including bays and intercoastal waterways. Almost 69% of the world's freshwater supply is located in glaciers and permanent snow near the Earth's north and south poles. Even the land contains water. Over 30% of the known fresh water is contained underground. The remaining amount of fresh water, less than 1%, is located in rivers, lakes, swamps, and water in the atmosphere. Without water, there would be no life on Earth. Many space missions have a goal of finding water. Why? Because where there is water, there is a chance of life. Water consists of 3 phases, including liquid water, solid ice, and water vapor gas, clouds and fog. We consider these 3 phases the main path of the water cycle. Liquid water has 2 categories, including freshwater and saltwater. Water is pretty heavy. It weighs 62.4 pounds per cubic foot. A gallon of water weighs 8.34 pounds. The force from water increases with depth. Let's look at a dam. The force from water a foot down from the surface is much less than water pressure that is 50 feet below the surface. This is one of the reasons that dams are built wider at the base than the top, to resist the greater forces. A shower uses between 2 and 5 gallons of water per minute. The average person in America uses about 90 gallons of water per day. The average person in Mali uses about 3 gallons of water per day. Mawsynram, a village in India, has the most rainfall in a place on record, 83.3 feet, or 25.4 meters. In contrast, the McMurdo dry valleys in eastern Antarctica are dry, barren lands that literally receive no precipitation. Without water, there would be no life on Earth. Clean water to drink is not readily available around the world. Some places like cities surrounding the Great Lakes in the United States have plenty of fresh water available to drink. Water flowing over Niagara Falls alone every minute is enough drinking water for 55 million people. Here are some water chemistry facts that are interesting. Guess what? Water is wet. Bad joke, but from a chemistry standpoint, water is made up of 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. These are the most abundant elements in the universe. In its natural state, water has a pH of 7, which means it is neutral, not an acid or an alkaline. Water affected by pollution such as acid rain, mine runoff, and farm runoff, however, typically have a pH lower than 7. Saltwater in runoff and groundwater near limestone have a pH higher than 7. Most natural, non-organic solids are heavier than water. Ice is an exception. Frozen water, also known as ice, is lighter than water and will float. Water has an unusually high amount of surface tension. The water molecules pull together. We see this effect with raindrops, bugs floating on the water, and groundwater moving up into trees and plants. All these natural phenomena are a result of the surface tension of water. Water is the only substance that can change phases from solid to liquid to gas in a small range of naturally occurring temperature. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit, or 100 degrees Celsius. Water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, or 0 degrees Celsius. Water is really important to life on planet Earth.
Check it out. This is the deepest and most unexplored part of our planet. It's so deep that most unexplored part of our planet. It's so deep that if you stick Everest in it, its peak will still be underwater. This is the Mariana Trench. It's located in the western Pacific Ocean, and its maximum known depth is 36,000 feet. And this is you, an average person who burns with interest to understand what is at the bottom. You're tired of watching documentaries about the Mariana Trench, so you decide to check it out yourself. But you have neither a special suit nor a submarine. You only have an air tank and a brick which you tied to your leg. Take a deep breath and dive in. 5 feet underwater. You don't feel anything unusual. This is the depth you might jump into a pool or swim at the beach to see exotic fish. 5 feet doesn't cause any inconvenience, and you feel quite comfortable. But the brick pulls you deeper, and soon you find yourself at a depth of 32 feet. Here, you begin to feel the main problem of diving so deep. And no, it's not hungry sharks looking in your direction. It's that kraken. No, not really. The main threat is pressure. On the water surface, you felt 1 atmosphere of pressure. At a depth of 32 feet, this pressure is double. Now, don't worry, you're safe for now, but you may already feel discomfort in the eardrums. This is because the pressure causes the air volume in your body to compress. You'll feel this in your ears, sinuses, and lungs. But these air pockets in your body are flexible enough to withstand even more specific depth. You continue to descend. 65 feet underwater. It's already quite dark here, and the discomfort from the pressure increases. If you're not a trained diver, you begin to feel the pain in your ears. Now your lungs are reduced in volume by 3 times. If the air sacs in your lungs collapse, air bubbles will get into your blood, and you may suffer an embolism or stroke. You've reached 100 feet. This is the maximum depth divers go for recreational purposes. You need to be a well-trained and experienced diver, like me, to cope with the pressures 3 times higher than usual. In addition to this, you begin to feel a new symptom, nitrogen narcosis. The air in your body is made up of 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. At higher pressure, nitrogen begins to have a toxic effect on your body. You feel a slight dizziness, tunnel vision, memory impairment, and unexplained cheerfulness and excitement. Narcosis can cause visual and auditory hallucinations and make the diver do strange things. For example, dancing. Yes, it might be the most peculiar dance in the world, but narcosis can cause worse consequences. The diver may think he can breathe without equipment and inhale water. To avoid this, Divers use gas mixtures with higher oxygen and lower nitrogen content to reach greater depths. You're still committed to the dive and find yourself at a depth of 196 feet. Here, even regular oxygen becomes toxic. That's because you're consuming it at 7 times the pressure of what you're used to. Oxygen intoxication can cause seizures. If there are no professional divers nearby to help, you may be in big trouble. To avoid such intoxications, helium is included in diving gas mixtures. But it's not to make your voice funny. Theoretically, with helium in the tank, a diver can reach a depth of 984 feet. Hey, you've reached 702 feet. This is the world record for freediving. Herbert Niche was able to achieve this depth without special equipment in a single breath. Yeah, I know it sounds strange, but it was easier for him to reach this depth over divers because he didn't use gas mixtures in an air tank and he didn't face narcosis. For his achievements, he received the title of the deepest man on Earth. In 2012, he reached a depth of 831 feet, but was severely injured in the process. At 831 feet, you should look around. You may encounter a submarine because they travel at this depth. But we've reached your limit. Another couple of meters and your dive will end badly. But we know people can withstand a lot more pressure. Many experiments have been conducted to find the limit of a human's dive. Using special chambers that simulate deep diving conditions, theoretically, a person can withstand a depth of 1,640 feet, but it would take a long time to reach the surface from such a depth due to the need for decompression. You see, during diving, nitrogen, helium, and other gases accumulate in your body tissues and blood under high pressure. It takes time for these gases to naturally leave your body through your lungs. If you reach the surface too quickly, these gases will form into bubbles, destroy blood vessels, and block blood flow. So divers must make stops on the way to the surface to just hang out there and simply breathe away the nitrogen. Better bring a book. Sometimes it's necessary to spend a whole month in a special decompression chamber to avoid traumatic consequences. For safe dives at great depths, you need special equipment. An atmospheric diving suit is used for long, deep water dives up to 2,296 feet. It's like a mini submarine, which a person can wear. There's no need to worry about decompression sickness or nitrogen narcosis, because the pressure in the suit will equal 1 atmosphere at all depths. Plus, you don't even need to be an experienced diver to use this suit, but it may cause claustrophobia. Alright, so what if you want to go deeper? For this, you will need a submarine. The Triton 6600-2 is a private submarine that can reach 6,600 feet. The only disadvantage of this submarine is its price, $5.5 million. But let's assume that you have that money and you deploy your Triton 6600-2. Can I go along? Great. At its maximum depth, have you reached your destination? Actually, I'm afraid not. You have to overcome a depth 6 times deeper than that. Unfortunately, we can only reach the bottom of the Mariana Trench using drones. So, the human body can withstand enormous pressures. This is because our body is made up of 70% water. How deep can a person actually go before the pressure harms them? For a person, this depth is 22 miles. Our bones break at 24,600 pounds per square inch. This means that the depth at which our skeleton will be crushed is about 22 miles. Yeah, I think your eyeballs will pop well before that. But living organisms exist below this crush depth. The Mariana snailfish lives at a depth of about 26,000 feet. Their bodies are adapted to withstand incredibly high pressure. They chose this habitat because there are few predators and they feel safe. They can reach a length of 11 inches and weigh less than half a pound. Their diet is made up of tiny crustaceans, which crawl on the ocean floor and have lots of frustrations. Ooh, that rhymes. Let's go even deeper. We're close to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. These are cold waters where the sun's rays have never reached. But there is also life in this darkness. We just need to look very closely. Bacteria and yeast live here. This discovery surprised scientists because it was thought no living organism could survive such conditions. These microorganisms probably feed on particles of animal waste and dust that have fallen to the bottom. This discovery opened up new opportunities for scientists and motivated them to explore the depths of the oceans. Now, let's return to the surface. Wow, what a journey! After such an experience, you certainly don't want to dive again without preparation. So, to start out, practice holding your breath underwater in the bathtub. And watch out for kraken.
A cool evening to one and all present here. Life on this earth is tough without science, because science is a nature-focused study with a huge dependence on evidence, and thus a systematic study. Systematic and comprehensive investigation and exploration of natural causes and effects. A suitable backronym for science. Science always brings out curious facts, erupting out wonder in our hearts. Today, the Jnanadipa Center of Science and Religion has organized in its third day of its annual seminar on the deep sea floor. Earth's majority of the area is ocean, so the deep sea floor could be the largest habitat, if I'm not mistaken. So I wish everyone to stay tuned to explore the unknown facts and amazing facts of the ocean bed through this seminar. Let us now invoke God's gracious presence throughout this seminar, praying for each and everyone gathered here. It's now the moment for the welcome address. I'm so exuberant to welcome the speaker of the seminar, Reverend Father Professor Stephen S. Jayard, S.J., a prominent icon in the JD family, whose words of knowledge are always refreshing us with his in-depth wisdom blended with an amazing sense of humor. We will know more about Father Jayard through the words of the moderator of this seminar. May I now request Father Stephen Jayard to occupy your seat on the dais, and at the same time I invite Brother Sandeep Kumar to felicitate Father Jayard with a shawl and a moment. Welcome, Father. Now, I take this chance to welcome the moderator of the seminar, Dr. Sister Agnes and Anthony, MSc, Missionaries of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. I have personally witnessed a very friendly and cordial experience with Sister Agnes in a small conversation, which made me feel just wow kind of relaxation. She's a proficient psychology professor, a psychotherapist with EMDR registration, and she also guides in the research work. She, with her immense knowledge and experience, had brought out many articles and research publications on varied psychological topics. She works presently at NBSC. So may I now request Sister Agnes to occupy a seat on the dais, and at the same time I invite Brother Ashish Rodriguez to felicitate Sister Agnes, the moderator, with a shawl and a moment. Thank you, Brother Ashish Rodriguez, and welcome, Sister. I am also pleased to extend my words of welcome to all the fathers, sisters, brothers, and well-wishers who have come to audience this seminar. Welcome, welcome, one and all. I now invite Sister Moderator to introduce the speaker of this seminar.
Good evening, respected Father Stephen Jayard. It's my privilege that you and your secretaries and office bearers have given to me. I'm really happy to be here. Very good evening to all the fathers, sisters, and brothers who are present here. A very warm welcome to Father Stephen Jayard, SJ. He is the JD CSR director, a great man. From the time I have come over here, I've been hearing him with a lot of, in-depth knowledge that he has got, the researching ability that he has been exploring into the realms, and he is the right person to go into the deeper sea, I feel, and to explore the unexplored parts of what we have not heard. He would have been really researching so much. To get to know about him, we don't need give much introduction, because all of you who are here know him much better than me. Okay, he though he has lot of credit to his hat that he is using, so many feathers he has got. PhD from Central University, Hyderabad, cleared his NET in 2002, so he's qualified to be a professor in any university in India. Part of his doctoral research done at Wake Forest University of Winston at USA, the Inter-University Center of Astronomy and Astrophysics in Pune, India, awarded a junior research fellowship by the Indian Council of Philosophical Research, postdoctoral research at Longogan Research Institute at Washington, D.C., Boston, USA, and he has lot of other credits to his own, Professor of Philosophy and Science at IIT, International Institute of Information Technology, Hyderabad. And he has given lectures at different places, South Korea, Symbiosis School of Arts, Pune, and authored 13 books and edited 2 volumes, including Towards a Theory of Rationality in Science, a plea to, reasonableness, Mary for modern times. Can we ever know how much we don't know? That's precisely is here. That makes me really, buck up myself to say, he has done so much of exploration at this stage, and some model standing before us for us to research into the varied field which are not known to us. Several research papers he has published, international journals he has written a lot of researching papers. He has attended many conferences, international, national, and conducted motivational talks to varied schools, colleges, India, abroad, and what not. He is expertise in philosophy as well as religion. Now he is into metaphysics and into whatnot. What I want to tell you. So warm welcome, Father Stephen Jayard. God bless you with all your knowledge that is going to pour upon us. God bless you. Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, very glad to be here, and thanks to Agnes for your very exuberant, elaborate, and kind introduction. And I like that introduction because I only wrote and gave her. Yeah. Now I can imagine if the shorter version is so long, what would be the original one? Except one fact that I did not add. Stephen Jayard, S.J. Actually, what we meant was Stephen Jayard, S for Stephen, J for Jayard. And I'm a diocesan priest from Tiruchirappalli. Yes. And I don't know whether she's happy or sad to know about that. Very happy? Yeah? Good. Hope the Jesuits don't mind that one. Okay. For me, no problem. A rose would smell the same thing even with any other name, according to Shakespeare. But SJ, no problem. Provided the Jesuits don't have any problem. It's all right. Stephen SJ, yeah. All right. So, with that note of clarification about my name itself, now we move on to the deeper mysteries. Mystery deepens with the depth. Reflections on mysteries of oceans. First day we had quantum physics and mysteries. Sister, she came from Susai Mary from St. Aloysius College, Bangalore. And yesterday we had Mysteries in the World of Science by Dr. Ashish, our own student, scholastic year. And today, third day is mystery. Probably this is a new area, I guess, because about consciousness, about our brain studies, about cosmos, about microscopic world. We have done something. But this, I thought, perhaps a good area to explore. I also wanted to explore along with you. Yeah. And ocean, we all know, it creates a lot of interesting feeling within us. A vast expanse, roaring waves, cool breeze, always a thrill. Small children, elders, we go and we get lost in the immensity of the ocean. And inspiration to be always cheerful, active, full of life. And oceans connecting all nations and continents. The water doesn't know, oh, this is this continent, oh, that is that nation. No. But if you dive deep into it, literally and philosophically, the mystery deepens with the depth. That's what we are going to do today. The deep sea as a symbol of mystery, the deeper one goes, the darker, colder, and more alien world becomes, and yet life still finds a way. In the previous documentary you saw how we go deeper and deeper and different world altogether. No sunlight, we'll see more on that. No sunlight, more pressure. But amazingly, we cannot exist there, but there are creatures which exist in total darkness and high pressure. Whereas we cannot exist in total darkness. And without the sunlight, there is no food also. So the mystery deepens there. And as we go there, the presence of the absence. The more we explore reality, the more we encounter the limits of our knowing. Oh, good sister does not have eyes behind, so please come. Yeah, thank you. Yes. And the ocean's depths, both physical and symbolic, remind us that creation is vast, alive, and ultimately mysterious beyond measure. So mystery deepens with depth, and the Psalms 95:5 becomes more meaningful. The sea is His, for He made it. Before we go into the domain of ocean, some reflections on water itself. So my presentation will be two parts. The first part, the water, how the water originated, what are the special features of water which make life possible. We all know water is essential for life, isn't it? But why is it essential, and how is it essential, and where the actual source of water? We know bore water comes from the down, the well, etc., and water from the ocean, water from the rivers. But to the earth, water, when did it come? From where? That's another great mystery. Still it's going on. We don't know the real answer. To water down, this expression is a great insult to water. Normally we say, don't water down the issues. That means make it dilute, make it lighter, make it simpler, or make it insufficient or inefficient or insignificant. I think this phrase, please hereafter don't use, because water is not insignificant, water is not diluted matter. So water down is an insult to water. Water has several unique physical, chemical, and biological properties, and which can lead us to philosophical and theological reflections as well. Water is not just water, it is the grammar of life. How language is not possible without grammar, so life is not possible without water. Life's first language is water. Water is the source of life, meaning, and sacredness. Matter that mediates the sacred, a journey from the molecule to mystery, where science meets the sacred. So water is not just water, water is the memory of the cosmos, breath of life, a gift and responsibility. And if at all there is a next world war, hope it is not there, it will be for water and not for oil. Why? We are going to see soon. The silent sacrament of life and the sacred ordinary is water. Why the world war is going to be for water? This is one of the reasons. The whole of water on the earth reduced to 4 liters bucket. So this is a bucket, no? 4 liters. If the whole of water, all the oceans on the earth, all the water is reduced to 4 liters in the bucket. 1 spoon from it will be the fresh water. 1 spoon of water. All the other water is in the form of salt water. So 4 liters, only 1 spoon is a fresh water, drinkable water, which we can use. And from that 1 spoon, only a drop from that spoon available in usable form. All the other things in glaciers, ice caps, etc. So today the whole world, 8 billion people, and all the creatures, animals, birds, insects, earthworms, everything depend on that 1 drop of water. So when we waste some water, whether it's 1 glass of water or 1 bucket of water, we are wasting from that 1 drop which is available for us. See how water is significant and what is important. And 1 liter of water in your hand contains whole cosmos. 1 liter of water jug, if you have, it contains whole cosmos. How? 1 liter of water contains 3.34 10 to the power 25 molecules. You know water molecule? H2O. Once a teacher asked what's the water chemical formula, the student said HIJKLMNO. How? Sir, yesterday you said H2O, no? H2O alphabet. Anyway, you are not bound to laugh. It's okay. But the students and the teachers laugh there. Okay. So 1 liter of water contains 3.34 10 to the power 25. What's the meaning 10 to the 25? 1 followed by 25 0. So many molecules are in 1 liter of water. And what is the distance? The diameter of a single water molecule is 0.3 nanometer. Not even 1 nanometer. 0.3 nanometer, 1 molecule length width. Nanometer, 1 meter divided by 1 billion times. 100 crore times 1 meter you divide, that is nanometer. 0.3 nanometer. It's very, 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 very insignificant, very, very small. But that molecules, we put them together, all these 10 to the power 25 molecules, you know how long it will become? It will become 9.2 billion kilometers. That is, with that you can go up and down to the sun 30 times. Because distance between the sun and the earth, 150 million kilometers. So if at all you are able to keep the molecules at one string in 1 liter of water, 10 to the power 25 molecules, it goes up to 9.2 billion kilometers. You can go to the sun up and down 30 times. That's why I said whole cosmos is in our hand when we hold 1 liter of water. Okay, from where our Earth got water in the beginning, that's still a mystery even today. There are some theories to say there is no single source as such. It's not an event, but a process. And science proposes 5 theories, the major theories. 1, water was part of Earth's original building materials. You know, the Earth was formed 4.5 billion years. The Earth was formed 4.5 billion years from the dust gas of the first explosion from the sun. And in that already hydrogen and oxygen elements were there and already present in the atmosphere, later condensed as rain when the planet cooled off. Even the middle of the Earth, the core of the Earth, even today it's very hot. That's why we get volcano. But when it is cooled down, the water formed. This is one theory. Another theory, delivered by asteroids, major contributor. This is the best explanation today we have, because we find this water-rich asteroids in the space. So water must be an immigrant to the Earth. So Earth did not have water in its own. They contend that hydrated minerals and water are everywhere, the meteoroids, asteroids. The hydrogen isotope ratio in these meteoroids closely matches that of Earth's ocean. Due to collision with the Earth, the water came to us. So it is from the outer world, not of our own creation. You know what's the isotope? For example, hydrogen has 3 isotopes. The isotopes, the number of protons and neutrons will be the same, only the neutrons will be different. And when the neutrons are different, we get deuterium and tritium. And these are present in the outer space. So it is highly likely that water came from there. And isotope, it has some philosophical significance also. Identity and the difference can exist. Unity in diversity in a way. It's the same basically, but the neutrons will be different, therefore there are some different properties. Sameness of essence does not require sameness of expression, right? And if at all we realize there can be greater world harmony between the religions, between the cultures, human beings, we are all same at the bottom level, but we express our beliefs and cultures and faith systems in a different way. So perhaps nature tells us, you guys can exist basically same, but your expressions can be different. What a profound knowledge, insight that we can get from isotopes. Okay. Another theory, possible contribution from comets. Some comets are rich in ice. They also would have played major role in bringing water to the Earth. Another one, water formation on dust grains before Earth existed. This implies that some of the Earth's water may be older than the Earth itself, predating the Sun. Because before the Sun was formed, this dust grains were already there, and there might have been some water elements, and that later came onto the Earth. So the water that we use may be older than the Earth, older than the Sun itself. How old is the Sun? Sorry, Father, I was not there when the Sun was created. Sun is about now 5 billion years old. It has another lifespan of another 5 billion years old. So our lifespan of our Sun is 11 billion. So the water can be older than this Earth itself. Retaining water against the struggles. It is one thing to get water from anywhere. It's okay. But how the Earth managed to retain the water, that's another great miracle, great mystery. Why? Because the magnetic field of the Earth protects us from the Sun, from heat waves and all this harmful radiation. So the magnetic field and the Earth's gravity was strong enough to retain water. If the Earth's gravity was little less than what it is now, and if there is no magnetic field and atmosphere protected water from being stripped away by solar wind, unlike Mars. On Mars, the solar winds are very powerful because there is no magnetic field. So the water, vapor, everything would have swept away. When it, because of the heat, goes to the cloud, before it comes as rain, it would have been swept away. So we would not have water. So to retain water also, Earth has done a great effort. Exceptional features compared with other substances. The polarity and solvent power. Now water is the universal solvent. It can dissolve anything and many things. So it can dissolve a wide range of substances like salt, sugar, gases. So universal solvent. And this polar quality, that is having a partial positive, partially negative. It's not purely positive, purely negative. This has helped serves the medium for biochemical reactions inside our cells. nutrients, enzymes, waste products can be transported efficiently. This is very essential for life. If water had not this quality, one of the strange qualities or important qualities, you and I would not be existing today. Hydrogen bonding. Hydrogen naturally gets bonded with one another. This cohesion and surface tension is very essential for to maintain life. This cohesion enables surface tension, allowing the insects to walk on water. You know, some small insects, the video also we saw, stabilizes the structures of proteins, DNA, and cell membranes, which is essential to life. So that is because of the ability of hydrogen atoms to bond. Similarly, high specific heat capacity of water. Water absorbs a large amount of heat before its temperature rises. For example, metal, iron, when you give the fire, immediately its temperature goes up. But water accommodates its heat to a large extent. Only when it comes to 100 degrees centigrade, it starts evaporating. And there are other chemicals very similar to water. H2O is water, H2S is hydrogen sulfide. That will be already boiling the room temperature, you see. Only one atom is different, sulfur and oxygen, but it gives an enormous different capacity and quality. And this quality helps us to maintain the homeostasis in living beings. What is that? A body's amazingly ability to keep its internal environment stable and balanced. It's a continuous self-regulating process to maintain dynamic equilibrium to prevent harm to the cells. Without this property, life would face extreme temperature fluctuations. Need for high heat to evaporate. As I said, only the high temperature to evaporate. This enables cooling mechanisms in our body like sweating, and it prevents organisms from overheating. You know, sweating is another interesting thing. In our body, there are millions of holes, and the water can come from inside outside, right? That's why we sweat. But fortunately, the water cannot go from outside inside. Always imagine if you are in the swimming pool for half an hour, you come like this. Okay? Some of us are already without going to the swimming pool. It's okay. No, like that. So it's a one-way traffic. Again, that's another mystery. And density anomaly, this is very, very important. When water is frozen, that frozen ice becomes lighter than the liquid water. Generally, liquid, when it is frozen, the density is more, it becomes heavier. Had it been heavier, the frozen ice would have gone to the bottom of the oceans. The remaining water also would have frozen, and the living beings would have been killed. And because it is floating on the surface, the living creatures can go to the bottom and they can survive there. And when it becomes liquid everywhere, it comes back. Otherwise, the whole ocean would have been frozen. You know, so the frozen ice floats in and this gives an enormous opportunity for life to exist. Similarly, transparency. Water is transparent. It is not opaque. No, we can easily see through. And this quality is very important because it enables the photosynthesis. The water plants underneath, they get the sunlight, photosynthesis happening because water is transparent. By this, plants use sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide to create oxygen energy in the form of sugar. Supports aquatic food chains. If it were not transparent, aquatic plants cannot survive, and that would have affected our ecosystem very badly. Cohesion and adhesion, again we said earlier, cohesion, water molecules stick to each other, and adhesion, water sticks to other surfaces. Now that is why when we pour some water, immediately gets stick. We have to wipe or we have to remove. This cohesion and adhesion, both are important because this enables the capillary action in plants. What's the capillary action? Because of that, the plants can take the water through the roots. It reaches the top of the leaves, right? That is capillary action. That is possible because of these qualities of water. And it supports support of water from roots to leaves, otherwise plants cannot survive. Optimal liquid range. It allows life to exist in diverse environments, lesser temperature, higher temperature, and so on. A neutral pH value. pH value measurement is the acidic or alkaline, whether a substance is acidic or alkaline, just opposite. And water is neutral. And because of that, many enzymes function only within narrow pH ranges. It protects cells from sudden acidity or alkalinity, and we have the ability to manage. And our body, as we know, 3/4 is water. Thus, water is not merely a background condition for life, but it's an active partner in biology. Its extraordinary properties make it uniquely suited to sustain complex self-regulating and evolving life systems. But for water, there is no life. We all know water is important for life, but how? This is the background. Important implications. Water reveals the radical dependence of life. Living beings are not self-sufficient substances. Life arises not in isolation, but through relational harmony. So to be alive is to be dependent. See, what a great lesson for humanity. To be alive is to be dependent. And if you are depending on others, how can you harm them? Through various means. And water uniquely balances constancy and flux. Water is a metaphor of becoming without disintegration. It's also a human condition. We endure through change, remaining the same while constantly becoming. Water thus becomes a necessary condition for both biological and existential continuity. Water has many exceptions. Our life is also sustained by exceptions. And what we need to be not just rational, but reasonable also. Because only mechanical, rational, logical principles alone will not make life. We need to go beyond logic to make life possible, and water teaches us by going beyond to have exceptions. Theologically, creation is not indifferent but ordered towards life. Amazing design strongly indicating towards the designer. Finally, water is a gift, not a possession. No living being creates water. We all receive it. So it's a gift rather than achievement. And water and sacred meaning, we know all the religions, how they give importance. Genesis, Hindu thought, Christian theology, Islamic tradition. So water is not merely symbolic of life. It is participatory in life's sacredness. And ethical implications. Just three statements. If water is the condition of life, a bearer of sacred meaning, if it is a gift to all creatures, not an achievement of anyone, how can we pollute it? It's not ours. We have the moral duty to protect it. And how can we monopolize? That's why I said if there is a third world war, it will be for water. It raises the questions of justice, equality, and responsibility of stewardship, and we are bound to give clean water to everyone. Oceanology. Now, so we have come, the first part is over, water, and that water is so much found in ocean. And we come to the second part, that is oceanology or oceanography. It's a scientific study of oceans. Physical, chemical, biological, geological characteristics. How they interact with the atmosphere, land and living organisms. So oceanology is a multidisciplinary science. And oceanology, there are different aspects of it. It studies about the movement and the physical properties of seawater, the composition of seawater and chemical interactions, life forms in the oceans and their ecosystems, the structure of evolution and the ocean floor. So physical oceanology and meteorological or climate oceanology. And there are many other, it is related to other sciences, meteorology, climatology, geology, chemistry and biology, environmental science. And also there are many branches, physical oceanology, chemical, biological, geological, meteorological. All these details, we need not go into details. So each discipline has a focus and each discipline has certain areas to study on. You know, India's current mission at the deep ocean, you must have heard about it, Samudrayan, deep ocean mission. It includes a Matsya 6000. It is designed to carry 3 crew members to the depths up to 6,000 meters. In the previous video you saw, only up to 18 meters we can go without any extra suit. And before, more than that, we need some extra special suit to reach 200, 300 meters and so on. The submarines go at the 300 meter depth. So they are planning to reach 6,000 meters for scientific research and mineral resource assessment. But they need to be very careful because you remember 2003, there was a big catastrophe. Titan, the submersible vessel went inside to reach the Titanic shipwreck. And you know, the Ocean Gate CEO himself went, and all 5 people were killed. And this Atlantic Ocean, it happened in Atlantic Ocean, approximately 3,330 meters. Now we are planning to go up to 6,000 meters. It will be double the pressure. And there, why it collapsed, imploded? Because of the immense pressure. Nearly 5,000 pounds per square inch. Per square inch, small inch, square inch, 5,000 pounds. That is about 3,500 kilograms you keep on 1 inch. That is the pressure. And that is why this submersible, this vessel, not exploded, imploded. Exploded would be reaching out. Imploded, going within itself. All it happened within milliseconds. All the 5 were killed instantly. And we all know that. So there are 5 major oceans on the earth. What are they? Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Antarctic or Southern Ocean and Arctic Ocean. 5 oceans are there. Every ocean has its own significance and speciality. The largest ocean is Pacific Ocean. 46%, almost half of the Earth's surface is covered by this Pacific Ocean, bordered by Asia, Australia, North and South America. It's a home to the Mariana Trench, about 10 kilometers. 10 kilometers deep, 10,000 or more meters deep. And we have sent already some exploring devices. And just a small video clip to show how the Pacific Ocean is so special and deep. Just 2 minutes. Pacific Ocean is very huge. The distance from Asia to Africa, you can hold 5 moons there. The audio of the video would be better than my audio. Okay, the largest ocean, it was working, before.
Water surface. This is hard to see on a flat map, but becomes obvious on many people don't even realize how huge the Pacific Ocean really is. Look, the distance from Asia to South America is more than 12,000 miles, which is enough to fit 5 moons in a row. Hard to believe, larger than all the land on Earth combined. Literally, we could fit all continents, every piece of land here, and there would still be room for 23 Texases. The Pacific Ocean is the largest of all the oceans and covers almost half of the planet. Hard to see on a flat map, but becomes obvious on a globe, where we can see that the Pacific Ocean covers 1/3 of the entire Earth. What's interesting, the ocean holds the 3 deepest points on the planet, the Tonga Trench, the Philippine Trench, and the Mariana Trench. It's so deep that it could fit Mount Everest, 2 Burj Khalifas, and 1.5 Eiffel Towers inside. The land is so rare that the Pacific Ocean is home to the most isolated and remote place on the planet, Point Nemo, where sometimes the closest people are astronauts on the International Space Station.
So this ocean is so broad, and people cannot be closer because very broad. Maybe the closest people will be those who are traveling in the International Space Station. At that particular point, they'll be about 400 plus kilometers closer. Okay, we'll go back to this. So this shows how enormous the oceans are, and what is inside we do not know. And the Earth is covered with 70% of the oceans, and 80% of the ocean is unknown to us. Yeah. So we'll go back from where I left. Don't think I'm going to start again from the beginning. Okay. Little more down. Yeah. Another 2 or 3 slides. Yeah. Next. Next. Yes. Video clip is over. Yeah. So more than 70% of Earth is covered by water. 80% of it's deep and depth unexplored. And these are the depth range, different range what is available. See, up to 200 meters only we have sunlight. Beyond that, up to 1 kilometer, you have dim light, and 1,000 to 4,000, no light at all, and 4,000 to 6,000, total darkness. Here also total darkness. And we cannot live in total darkness, but there are creatures which live in the extreme darkness and extreme pressures, like snail, fish, and so on. And this is the 11,000 meter or 11 kilometers. That is the trench zone which we saw in the Pacific Ocean. Pollution in the oceans is very, very sad to see, and Mother Nature will not really forgive us for this. Microplastics are found at the deepest points. In 2019, they found plastic debris and microfibers in the Mariana Trench, nearly 11 kilometers at the depth, below the surface, the deepest point of Earth. Even tiny amphipods living in these trenches have been found with plastic fibers in their digestive systems. No part of the ocean is pollution-free. Human activity reaches even the deepest trenches. And there are different types of pollutions, from plastic waste to nutrient runoff chemical pollutants, floating plastics, microplastics, heavy metals, plastic fibers, microplastics, radioactive traces, and microplastic industrial chemicals. So it has reached even the trenches, 11 kilometers. How much we have polluted systematically and continuously. And these are the ecological impacts that we can know from different sources. Even noise and light pollution the oceans. We may say, we speak about air pollution, water pollution, and today we hear about the noise pollution and light pollution, which affects the oceans. Even sound travels to the deep. The submarine traffic and drilling sonar systems generate low frequency noise that affects the whales and deep dwelling species. You know, we can hear only certain decibels, no? About 20 to 20,000 decibels we can hear. But dogs can hear more than what we can hear. That is why during the Diwali and all, when the crackers are happening, bursting, they really shiver, no, tremble and go and hide themselves under sofas and all. Why? Because they are able to hear more than what we hear, and that is painful to the ears, unlike to us. For us only some discomfort, but for them it is painful. And similarly, so these whales and deep dwelling species are affected by this sound noise that we produce. Similarly, artificial light in the coastal cities, fishing fleets penetrates through the upper layers, disrupting the nocturnal migratory behavior of marine species. Certain species will come only at the night, and already they are in darkness. And when these lights and all go, it affects them. And this affects the ecosystem, the imbalance is created. Similarly, threat due to deep sea mining. There's a proposed extraction of minerals from manganese nodules and hydrothermal vents. It threatens to stir up toxic sediments and destroy fragile, unexplored ecosystems. You know, in our own fish tank, you know, sometimes when we change the water, some fish die. Why? Because the temperature change and the fish lovers will know. And when it is created, it is very muddy and dirty. And if we change the water, the fish cannot survive. So with our marine deep sea mining, there's a danger of all these things can take place and it will affect very badly. Now, scientific mysteries about the unknown world beneath. See, constantly we are continuously coming to discover new life forms. And these new life forms will be luminous creatures, transparent fish and organisms that live even in crushing pressure, total darkness and total toxic chemicals. And hidden ecosystems we are coming to know without sunlight, they can live using chemical energy instead. It challenges our very definition of life's dependence on photosynthesis. We think that only our carbon-based life, light-based life, that is the final thing, but nature is telling us no, your understanding is limited. Climate secrets, oceans regulate the Earth's temperature, store carbon and generate weather patterns, but full functions not fully understood. Therefore, the sea still whispers secrets beyond our reach. Philosophically also it has some meaning. The unknown ocean's depth mirrors the depth of human existence, the parts of the self and the cosmos that remain hidden and unknowable. Even the material world is not fully known to us. And forget about our own self, if at all you believe in the soul, deepened psyche and so on. The uncharted sea evokes wonder and humility, calling us to acknowledge the limits of human mastery. We can never be masters of the creation. Just as the surface of the ocean hides unseen worlds below, so too our rational understanding floats upon mysteries that sustain life and meaning. We have a certain understanding of the world, certain understanding of our own self, and we try to impose upon that. Immanuel Kant will say 12 categories, no? That 12 categories like framework, upon we impose that on reality, we come to know. Even scientific theory, it approaches a reality from only particular perspective. So what the nature reveals, reality reveals to us, depends on the tool that we are using. Supposing you are seeing the world through the window which is square, the reality behind will appear to a square. If it is a circle window, it will appear circle. So human beings can never ever claim mastery over the understanding of reality. And theologically, ocean reflects the creative power and majesty of God, Psalm 104:25. Here is the sea, vast and spacious, teeming with creatures beyond number. In scripture, the sea is both a place of chaos and creation. The Spirit of God was hovering over the waters, Genesis 1:2. From those primordial depths, life emerged by divine command. The ocean reminds us that God's mystery exceeds all human probing. Therefore, in spiritual reflection, the sea can symbolize the infinite mercy and love of God, unfathomable, vast, and life-giving. So therefore, conclusion, science and faith meet at the depth of the oceans. The ocean's depths are a meeting place of knowledge and mystery. Science dives to understand its processes. Faith kneels in reverence before its grandeur. And both are united by wonder. The awareness that creation is deeper, richer, and more mysterious than any theory can contain. That's why the Psalm again, 107, 23, 24. Man goes out to the sea in ships. They see the works of the Lord and His wonders in the deep. And thank you. That's also given in the eyes, you see. Yes, thank you. This applause goes to nature and water, not to me. Yes. I didn't want to trouble the moderator, so I finished before time. So perhaps we have more time for discussion. Also, there's a SVD. Today there is a prayer service, a celebration. Some of you wanted to go. So that's why I wanted to skip in between. But all the PPT will be in the group, so you can have a look at it later.
Getting into the realm of the ocean was an in-depth search for a philosophical look, and a spiritual in-depth is unfathomable. As Father Stephen Jayard from the Diocese of Trichy has brought into us the gamut of the mysteries that is hidden and the life that is not, we are not able to fathom. After the 80% of the things which we are not discovered yet, that's a great mystery that we have yet to acknowledge. However, the man is going to invade a lot of areas in which even the space and even the in-depth of the sea, yet it shows our limitation, where we humans are limited in many ways. Though we can boast of many of the inventions and things like that, but yet each time there is greater mystery hidden. The more the inventions are, the greater the mystery is hidden. So we have to just keep assuming and doing, getting ratios or get a certain percentage of what we are discovering is hardly nothing, So with this, I just pass the floor on to you. Whatever the questions, doubt you have, we have a great person who can give you in detail and able to explore the depths of the earth and the philosophical touch with it, how the spirituality can impact with this kind of knowledge. How great are thy works, O Lord. I leave it to you all, those who, I wish many youngsters come up with a lot of questions which the answer can be explored by our great Father Stephen Jayard. Thank you.
Yesterday we spoke about illusion and hallucination. I think sister has both. That's why he sees a great person in me, both illusion and hallucination.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Do they have mics, or should we pass this?
It is there.
I see a lot of gleaming faces with a lot of questions, to pressure, and then just formulate it how to come out, and then you'll be all right.
I've taken you all to deep ocean. Hope you have come back out to the surface.
They're lost there.
There will be too much pressure, huh? Yes.
So good evening to one and all. Thank you, Father, for a good presentation. Father, you told that in your presentation, the earth has got nice mechanism to retain the water, even if it gets over. But we have learned that the water is a what's called exhaustible resource. It can finish at any time. So, if you could say the earth has got nice mechanism to retain the earth, and should we say water is an exhaustible source?
Yeah, good. Thank you. I mentioned that earth had the ability to retain the water. That is in the beginning. Doesn't matter from where the water came, but the earth could retain the water. It was in the beginning, so that stage. But today what we say that available fresh water is becoming less and less. Why? Because these ice caps, they are in the fresh water, they are melting, they go into the sea, they become salty water. So the available drinking water is becoming less in a way. What I meant was that in the beginning, though the earth received the water from other sources, it had special features to retain the water. Otherwise, the big solar winds and the absence of magnetic field would have lost the water forever. So in that sense, okay, that's a good question, because today, recently, they sent a lot of submarines to study the deep ocean, and once they lost the robot, after 8 months, suddenly it gave signals. They were all very happy. Then they realized it got stuck with some gaps in below the ice mountain somewhere, and it's good they lost it for some time, because it went there. It was not their plan to send it there, and there it realized there is some hot water, rivers are there. These rivers are melting the ice mountains from the bottom. Not only the sun from the top, it's melting that down also. It's going to be big challenge to whole humanity. It's not just one country or two countries going to be affected. It is going to affect the whole earth in a very, very drastic way, because 50 meters the sea water can go up, they say, and that will be a very dangerous thing. So deep oceans are still mysterious, and the available water is reducing, as you said. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, brother, for that lovely question, which really made us to think that we just cannot contain water, as what he said in the beginning the source was. But today, how much of pollution, how much of harm we have done to this ecological system is another quest. Yes.
Thank you, Father, for the nice presentation. Father, as global warming continues, the study is that water, instead of becoming more saline, is becoming more fresh. So we are going to have a more abundance of fresh water. Having this abundance, will it allow us to explore the deep sea better, or will it be able for us to create better technology to go inside, having lesser salt water content?
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, we do not know exactly whether the real fresh water will increase. That's a debate itself. And the climatic conditions, the corporate companies, they say, no, there is no global warming, etc. Especially the first world countries, there's always a big debate going on. And if all the mountains, ice mountains, glaciers melt and go into the seawater, the salinity of water may reduce a little bit, but it will not take away completely, because we are continuously bombarding the salt and other chemicals into that water. So the pollution, so-called pollution, will remain. And about the technology, of course, we do not know what technology can go ahead. And even now, that deep trench, 11 kilometer, 11,000 meter depth, there are some unmanned explorers have gone there, probes have gone. So we know something, some idea. Maybe 80% or more than that, still it is not known to us. Maybe in future, we will not know. We may come to know a little more on that. Yeah.
Thank you, brother, for that lovely question. Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
there are several hands. Yeah.
I got a curiosity. Usually we are battling for clean water, and a lot of projects are being done to provide clean water. At the same time, there are many who do not have this clean water, but different type of water would be cleaner than the clean water that we call black alkaline water. So I would like to know the difference between these two. At the same time, why this black alkaline water is costlier and accessible only to the rich? Thank you.
Good, thank you, Vishal. You said out of curiosity, keep up the curiosity. That's the beginning for any knowledge. Okay. Yeah. See this black alkaline water. I don't have much ideas on that. I mean knowledge. But one thing is sure: the filtered water, the mineral water is very expensive, right? Than ordinary water, tap water. But now the scientists are saying our general immune system, general health is becoming less and less, or impacted more badly, affected more badly, because even the essential needed nutrients and salts also filtered away. We see ordinary the aqua, this aquaguard, etc. 1/3 of the water only saved, 2/3 of the water goes away, and suddenly use it for washing or the watering the plant, etc. Along with that, the essential salts and minerals also go away. So the so-called expensive alkaline black water maybe, is it really helpful for us, or it makes more vulnerable to diseases? Because Dr. Ashish can help us more. Our traditional ways of pot, pot, they used to keep water, and outside the pot you will see the water droplets. It filters only the harmful chemicals and preserves the original, the needed one. But today's ultra filtering removes even the necessary essential nutrients and salts also, and that can create more problems. So in one way, because of the process, the water can be expensive. Secondly, whether it's really healthy, useful, that's a question mark. As you want to say something? Yes. Okay. He agrees with me. That means I'm right.
That's the reality of it. No, the more we are thinking filtering and boiling, reboiling again, we are losing the nutrients in it. And when some time back, when I went to near the Ganges, a trip, the water was, I was thinking the water is so dirty. There was a German man who was measuring the pH level, and he said the Ganga water is very drinkable even from there. But for us, in our eyes, it was looking very bad. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, next. Yeah.
Congratulations, dear Father. I have two questions, or maybe. First is of the ocean water, which can we purify it into drinkable water. Then I saw some clips that an Indian soldiers made a machine that can purify the seawater and make it into drinkable water. So my question is it possible for us to build a technology that can purify the seawater and use it for drinkable? And the second question I got is of the existence of water, the first part of your presentation. You mentioned that some of the waters can be older than the earth. I have a question on that, or maybe of your clarification, the idea of philosopher Thales of Miletus, where he says the existence of everything comes from water. So what is your standpoint of the existence of earth? Can it be from water or everything that we have?
Yeah, thank you. Second question first. Thales says water is the most fundamental thing, the arche. That is true. So when he says all the life begins from water, it is not same to say that water was not there before the earth. So water could have been before the earth, it could have come from anywhere, but that water, whether it is how old it is, how young it is, from where it came, doesn't matter. That water is the source of all life. So there is no contradiction or any problem to accept that. And the water can be older than the earth or older than the sun itself. That is one theory. It's not proved, because from the cosmos, from where all this cosmic dust and all these things, from where the stars form, and those raw material, the water elements are there. Hydrogens, isotopes and oxygen, like that. So one theory is that it could be older than what the earth or the sun is. And going to the first question, purification of that is making the sea water into drinkable water. It is possible. The technology is possible, but unfortunately it's very expensive. Now 1 liter bottle we can buy for 10-15 rupees, but to convert to make the sea water into drinkable water, 1 liter will be 100 rupees or 200 rupees, 10 times or even more. In some ships, when they go deeper into the ocean for fishing for 3 months, 6 months, etc., they carry some water with them. But more than that, they convert the seawater there. The mechanism, the machine factory will be there, and they get it. For limited people, limited situation, it's possible, maybe feasible. But to provide the water from the seawater to convert into drinkable water to provide the 8 billion people and all the plants, animals and insects, that is not possible. That's not feasible. And today, in the atmosphere also there is water. We can take the water from there. There are machines to take water from the atmosphere. But that makes the atmosphere very dry, and that will affect other plants and insects and birds. We cannot be selfish to take the water from the atmosphere and drink. Now, dehumidifier, our Savvy is here. Yeah, we kept a dehumidifier in our museum, paper seminary. By the way, there's a museum in the paper seminary. In case you have not seen, you can see. For the JD students, the entrance is free. Okay, for sisters also. And if you want the guided tour, you can approach me. All right, you can pay for the guide. Okay. So there we have the dehumidifier. over the 1 month or 2 months, we have seen so much of water in that box. That means in the ordinary room temperature atmosphere, so much water, there's a particular chemical which absorbs the water. So from the atmosphere also we can take the water. So technically it's all possible. Whether it is advisable to go in a bigger way, whether it is feasible, whether it is cost-wise economical, that's a big question. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Thank you, Father, for this lecture.
That's it.
I would like to ask a question. In this developing world, China and other countries, they are establishing solar panels above the sea level water. So it generates their income and electricity. So when this is established, the sunlight coming to ocean surface is reducing day by day when it is installed more. So what is your statement in this act? Whether it is good or whether it is bad?
Yeah, thank you. So good thinking, reflective question. If we cover all the ocean surface with solar panel, the sunlight will not reach. But what China is doing, though it's a big one, compared to the ocean's size or the enormity, it will be limited. So the ocean will be getting sunlight otherwise. And the solar panel also in between some gaps, it's not completely putting a carpet like, right? That's one thing. And secondly, we should not cover the whole surface of the ocean with sunlight, because if the sunlight doesn't go, the deep aquatic creatures can be affected in principle. And secondly, now China has made one big dam which has slowed down the Earth's rotation. You can check, right? A fraction of milliseconds has slowed down the Earth's rotation. Now we have 24 hours rotation, no? After some time, the Earth becomes slower and slower, and each day, one day will be 50 days. So you have to wait for 25 days to see the day, 25 nights to see the day. And that'll be easy for you, because only once in 25 days you can go for class. Now every 16 hours you go to for class, no? Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bless, for that question that you asked. It really makes us to think how selfish human beings are. At times, we have to give other creations also to grow simultaneously. Is there any other question?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. This is very fascinating topic, and your talk was more informative, both informative and thought-provoking. I have a simple question, like how do these organisms in
the ocean,
deep sea survive without sunlight and the extreme pressure?
Correct. How do they survive? We do not know, but they have a certain mechanism, because normally we try to see all the other living beings from our perspectives. We need this much of pressure, this much of water, this much of light, and so on. But these creatures, when they are deep ocean, they have adapted themselves over the evolution. Also, why do they go so deep? Also to protect themselves from the predators and all, no? But that is how the mystery that comes, no? How life can be so varied forms, so diverse forms, yeah. So we do not know how it happens, but they have evolved to survive there.
Is there something which the light emanating features within which life keeps going? I'm just thinking about it.
Yeah, some earth glowing worms, no? Sometimes at night, certain creatures can produce that one, but that is not exactly equal to the light that we get from the sun. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, everybody is contented with the answers, and anybody else is thinking differently?
They don't ask because they are busy with the soup, I think. And that gives me some space to breathe.
So, I take this...
yeah, maybe last two
yes.
questions. Yeah.
Yes, come on.
Yes.
Thank you, Father, for your good presentation.
Sit next one. Yeah.
So, I thought of asking, but this is outside the topic, like, I'm just curious about is in any way the Pacific Ocean is connected to the Bermuda Triangle. Can you explain a few mysterious Bermuda Triangle, something is there?
Bermuda Triangle, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so in a few words, if you could explain to us.
In a few words, I do not know.
Okay. In any way.
Anyway,
Thank you.
if I have to explain, I have to use more words. See, the Bermuda Triangle is still a great mystery, and they say the ships disappear and the aeroplanes disappear. Recently, I saw the Bermudan mystery is solved. but many debate it's not really solved, and there may be some special atmospheric condition difference, so it sucks inside. It's like black hole in the space. Even light cannot escape from that, so it goes in. Many planes and many ships have disappeared. Maybe that particular time a few things happened because of cyclone or something like that. They are not able to explain the reason for the disappearance. So they said, okay, better you avoid that thing. So if you see in the map now, all the planes and ships will go around the thing, not the time. It is like sometimes students keep the professors away, way to create problem, no? Like that, no? Deviation. More than that I do not know, but still the research is going on. Okay? Yeah, thank you.
Is the pressure that is so high that is cutting away?
Correct. Yeah, they say even if you go a little higher altitude, you can escape. They do not know. Yeah. That's why I said, no, 3 words I do not know.
Yeah, that's great. Anybody else?
Yeah, Ashish was. Bye. Good. Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, good.
Yes, Ashish.
Thank you, Father, for the information about the water and the mysteries of water and the ocean. Mine is more of a clarification. I think there was one mention about with water, which is both constancy and flux in one of the slides.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
that expression, the implications. See, water is very flexible. Thank you. See, water is so flexible that it can accommodate any volume. You can put in a long glass, a pot, a cellar, it adapts itself. The flexibility and the constancy for billions of years or millions of years, water is there. So its constancy, it is somewhere the other, some form of the other, it is always available, right? And it is not usable water, it becomes unusable water, or it becomes salt, or it becomes clouds. You know, clouds, it looks very soft. It can be millions of tons heavy. Suppose you see some clouds about, let's say, 500 meters. You can check in the internet, 500 meters wide cloud, how much it will weigh? Millions of tons. Because the water molecules there, it's very heavy. So in that way, it is constancy and flexibility. Yeah. And interestingly, you know, we all know swimming, because that's what we are doing before our birth in the womb, amniotic fluid. But unfortunately, when we come out, we forget that and we have to learn it. You know, naturally nowadays they say now water birth is more convenient, no? For both for the child, also for the mother, because the child is inside, is floating. If the child is given birth to water tub or something like that, it will be, the impact will be less. It can start swimming and like that, but we are afraid, how to put that baby in the water like that. And in Ahmednagar, there is one physics professor. He took that 3-day-old baby into the thing. Everybody was frightened. No, don't go. And within a few minutes, the child started swimming very gracefully and graciously. So water is very much part of us, within us and around us, even before our birth.
That's great. And that's lovely, Father Stephen Jayard, the way you were so patient enough to listen to all our queries, doubts. Somebody else want a question? Yes, he's waiting there something. Yes, please.
Because the last question.
Last one. Yeah.
Good evening, Father. It was a wonderful presentation. My name is Nikhil, doing my first year theology. Father, you said that we can use this seawater for drinkable, right?
Conversion.
Conversion. And if all billionaires come together and convert this water into drinkable water, can this seawater restored again so that it will become seawater?
Yes, of course. How the seawater is maintained more or less, because the rain is pouring on the sea, no? So the sea will get water anyway. They are not going to empty the whole water and make it drinkable. That's impossible. And again, the water evaporates and comes. There's a big cycle, no? So more than 75% of the surface is water. So again, the water will get full. That is why sea, when we pour some bucket of water, it does not become more full. When you take some bucket of water, it does not become less full. No? So ocean is always accommodating. No? All the rivers flowing into that. Yeah. So good. Thank you.
Thank you for that accommodation into our lives also. Thank you, Father Stephen. Wonderful presentation. And you were so, to the point, answering every one of our queries. And thank you for being what you are to all of us. Not being a Jesuit. You are That is, thinking that I thought you missed out to write that. When I saw that diocese of the, and I said, no, it could not be true. I was trying to deny.
See, I wrote diocese of Tiruchirappalli, she removed that.
So I was thinking he might have mistaken and done that. So sorry for that mistake, great mistake that I made.
It's okay, no problem, it's not enough. So it is like seeing the reality with our own framework.
Our own framework. Sometimes we wear an yellow glass and look through everybody with jaundice, like that I looked at you with Jesuit eyes.
You're not the first one. Many think that I'm a Jesuit. I don't know whether it's my mistake or not. I don't know. And our father also says, Roland is here. He says, you are more Jesuit than the Jesuits. No, I don't know what he means exactly, but it's a credit or complaint. I don't know. And once I gave retreat to the Holy Cross sisters, one elderly sister, she didn't believe that I was Jesuit. No, father, you are telling lies. You must be a Jesuit. No, you are not a diocesan. You are a Jesuit because you speak so well. That is true because I was trained by Jesuits, live with the Jesuits and struggle with the Jesuits. So Jesuits only.
I'm also part of the Jesuits for a number of years. Studied and worked with them, and they used to call me Lady Jesuit. So that's why I thought you are also a Jesuit.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
When Pope Francis became Pope, one Jesuit priest, young priest, went and met Holy Father. It is nice to meet you. I'm also a Jesuit. The Holy Father said, okay, good. I'm glad to know the same virus is in me also. Anyway, good. Thank you. Anyway, the discussion has gone to Jesuit now.
Over to you.
Over to you.
For exhibiting the mystic world of ocean bed, a great round of applause to Reverend Father Stephen Jayard.
Thanks.
And a great appreciation to Sister Agnes Anthony for moderating this session. Thank you, dear Sister and Father.
Good, thanks.
Every organization necessitates the role of a leader, guide, director, or even a motivator. On this annual seminar of the JDCSR, it is our duty to thank the Student Secretary of the JDCSR, Brother Karthi, whose organizing, hosting, and leading skill have steered the JDCSR crew, the associates, and all its activities. We express a heartfelt note of gratitude for the time and effort you have invested for the outreach of this association. Thank you. Thanks a lot. May I now request Brother Karthi to come forward, and I now request Father Stephen Jayard to express our gratitude to Brother Karthi by a small gift of love and appreciation.
What about Karthi? As you know, he has been a silent worker behind the scenes, an unassuming worker, and always ready to work. And though we say thanks now, he'll be working. There are 2-3 occasions, activities are there, essay competition, prize distribution. And we are planning to have a visit to the Science Center in Finchworth. Maybe this month end or beginning of February we'll plan out. So he'll be helping us. So thank you, Karthi, for all your wonderful work, and that with a smiling face. Good. Thank you.
I also request Brother Karthi to hand over the files to the new secretary, Brother Arun Kumar.
Yes.
Any request Brother Joseph Babu, the student coordinator of ASSR, to congratulate and welcome the new secretary with a memento.
There's a folder and a pen so that he can work better, okay? And Arun is from Madurai province. He has MA Economics from DNW College. So economically will be very healthy, I think. JDCSR.
As we have come to the close of this seminar, it is inevitable to express the words of gratitude to all gathered and to all who organized this gathering. So may I now invite Brother Karthi again to express the words of gratitude.
Gratitude is the attitude that determines our altitude in my life. By Stephen Jayard. Rhyming is where we can put his name. Dear fathers, sisters, and brothers, I stand before you today with immense joy and gratitude to deliver this vote of thanks. First and foremost, I thank Almighty God. God is not a static noun, but a dynamic verb, and that dynamic verb often becomes a mystery for humanity. In His mysterious ways, He helped us organize this seminar successfully, even amidst the busy program of JD. Secondly, I sincerely thank Sister Agnes, Lady Jesuit, introducing Father Stephen in a paragraph, even though she was given many pages, creating curiosity to raise questions, for moderating this entire session so meticulously and so joyfully. Thank you, dear sister, for guiding the program with such grace and clarity. A special and heartfelt thanks to Father Stephen Jayard. Some mysteries we can understand to some extent, but one mystery we may never fully understand is how Father Stephen creates such unique seminar topics. Titles like Can We Ever Know How Much We Don't Know? And Some Observations on Observation may confuse us at first, but after his presentation, we realize the title itself is already half the mystery. In the past 2 days, we explored mysteries of the quantum world and the human world. Today, Father took us deeper, literally, into the mysteries of the aqua world. In fact, I feel even James Cameron might wonder how he missed Father Stephen as a scriptwriter for Avatar, the Way of the Water. Sometimes his jokes also reveal the mystery. Some embrace, some fails, some try to understand. However, he adds simple humor to the seminar and life he never gives us. Thank you, Father, for the thought-provoking presentation on the deep sea floor, biological mysteries and philosophical implications. Friends, life is full of mysteries, and sometimes being the secretary of JDCSR is also mystery. Personally, I still wonder how I was selected as secretary. Last year's final seminar, I was just a participant. Father asked for a volunteer for secretary. No one raised their hand. Finally, Father pointed out that someone wearing an orange t-shirt and said, "You are the secretary." So, dear friends, my appointment itself proves that mystery truly exists. However, JDCSR helped me greatly to learn how to organize programs meticulously. During selection, Father used his free will, but during programs, he allowed us to exercise our freedom and free will. He patiently corrected our mistakes, guided us gently, and always kept us on track. So, sincere thank you, Father. My sincere thanks to our beloved President, Joseph, truly a man of all-round talent and simple soul. On the first day we heard that in the quantum world, we cannot observe the particle clearly, but that theory fails with Joseph. Because Joseph observes everything, even the smallest details. He notices minute things, makes arrangement possible, and ensures every tiny part of the program is done with perfection. Most of our work behind this seminar was carried out by Joseph. We thank you, Joseph, for your dedication, leadership, and hard work. And I also welcome and thank Brother Arun from Madurai province to add new taste as Secretary of JDCSR. So, this is also a mystery. Economics and science can go together, I think, next upcoming seminars. So, we thank Father Claudius, Treasurer of JD, for financial help, Mr. Arun, kitchen in charge, for the hot and tasty soup I hope you will miss it. Finally, I thank everyone gathered here. Our participants number also mysterious. It will increase often, sometimes decrease. For your active participation, meaningful presence, and constructive questions, you made this seminar alive, thoughtful, and fruitful. So thanks everyone. As we conclude, let us remember, problems can be solved, but mysteries cannot always be solved. So let us simply embrace them and enjoy them. Thank you once again. God bless you all. Thank you.
Let us keep up the spirit of interfacing science and religion always active and alive, so that we become better ministers of the church in the society. Thank you one and all. Let us all now rise for the Jayard anthem.
जीवन में हर पल गाएंगे हम गीत तेरा, तू ही तो माता पिता, तू ही गुरु मीत हमारा। नमन तुझे, सलाम तुझे, तू ज्ञान दीप हमारा। नमन तुझे, सलाम तुझे, तू ज्ञान दीप हमारा। तू ही तो देता विवेक दाता में विश्वास हमारा, विश्वास हमारा। जीवन में हर पल गाएंगे हम गीत तेरा, तू ही तो माता पिता, तू ही गुरु मीत हमारा।